Hello, friends. We're back again. Welcome to Fightful. It's September 29, 2025. It's time for your Monday Night Raw review. I haven't been here in a while. This is weird for me. I think the last time I talked WWE on this channel was Saturday night's main event when Goldberg had his last match. I'm a TNA guy, and this guy, you've seen him everywhere but on this channel.
Yeah. I've been on a lot of wrestling channels. My first time on Fightful, so I'm very happy.
Very, very excited to welcome Grand PooBear to the channel. How you doing tonight?
I'm excited to be here. It's good to finally come to Fightful. I got my butt kicked by SRS a few years ago at the Wrestling Trivia. So I'm excited to come over here. Finally fulfill my obligation of doing a show for him. That was the bet we made. You know, he was like, one time and I'm away, you got to do a show. So there you go.
I thought it was going to be a punishment where you have to do the show with him.
Oh, no, I'm joking. I'm stoked to be here. I'm happy to do it. Excited to talk about one of my favorite things personally outside of video games, wrestling. And what was actually kind of a fun, decently paced Raw. I felt it wasn't a slow one, so I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, everything was pretty good tonight. I think it was a fairly easy watch. Full disclosure, my Raw watching tonight was all over the place because, like I was telling Pooh before, I got a young kid and I'm on the East Coast, so we're trying to put him to bed while I'm simultaneously working to get him comfy, cozy, and down for the night. So we're there. We're good. We got it. He's asleep-ish, I hope. We'll find out. But either way, if you want to get in on the action, you can go ahead and you can leave a thumbs up on the video. If you haven't already, what is wrong with you? You got to get there right now. Subscribe to us here at Fightful. If you want to donate a super chat or a humper chat, you can do so here or over on humperchat.com. We get all your questions, all your statements read. Of course, Luis is manning the document tonight, so I will be paying attention to that. And of course, Fightful Select is our lifeblood. Plenty of news and notes, and we'll talk about that. And tonight, our show brought to you by our friends at BlueChew and NordVPN.com/Fightful. We're going to get to all of that right off the top because Pooh is here, because he's a new face, because we always want to give him something to talk about. If you love hard games, and if you love kitty cats,
yes,
maybe go on to Steam and get his game. It's called Curiosity. Tell us about it. Give him the hard sell, and then we can talk about Raw.
Yes, it is a game we've been working, it's been our part-time kind of side project for 2 years, me and two other people. It is in that classic getting over it, Betty Foddy, only up type style game, but with a lot of different things. You're a cat, you have 9 lives, so if you fall, you can just maybe put your cat to sleep and go back to where you were. Which is really, really great for a lot of people. You only have 9 lives. If you use too many of them, that might not be bad. We also have a lot of voice acting from a lot of the your favorite streamers. We got guys like Lobos Jr., Bloody Faster, DGR Dave, and we have one guy known as the Chugs online, but a lot of people here might know him as the AEW's Adam Cole is one of the voices of one of the cats in there. So if you want to hear Adam Cole meow like a kitten, which he does. This is true. We have Adam Cole meowing like a kitten in our video game. Check out Curiosity on October 8th. It comes out on Steam. You can wishlist it now. So I don't know what more I can sell than that. Adam Cole meowing a cat.
That was it. You could have dumped everything else. But honestly, I mean, it's good to know about the game and what it's all about. But just saying Adam Cole meows like a cat and you got him. That's it.
Absolutely.
Monday Night Raw kicks off tonight. Ria Ripley, always popular, always over with that crowd. She comes through, says she hopes things could have been different with her and Asuka and Kairi Sane. And then they said what they did to Io crossed the line. She calls out the Kabuki Warriors, gets Io instead. Io's sad. That's kind of the theme for Io Sky tonight. She's a sad girl. And she's conflicted because she loves her family, but at the same time, Io says Rhea was right. And then the Kabuki Warriors, there's a pre-tape that's aired because they've got the stuff underneath. They got the words underneath. And basically Asuka says, you made me do this. And when you became champion, you forgot about me. And if you apologize, then you can be back in the family and you can be my student again. Then it's too late for Rhea. But Rhea says, no, this is garbage. And Io just says, I need time. Well, the Kabuki Warriors give her no time. They blindside Rhea. Io is conflicted again, gets back in the ring, intervenes, and she eats the mist. She gets blued out of existence, just like Rhea last week. A little less comical amounts of mist, but either way, she got misted, and I don't know if you know this, Pooh. Do you know the mist lore in professional wrestling?
I mean, I'm familiar with its history, at least back to Tajiri as my youth. So
So the different colors of mist denote what issues come with them. So the blue mist in traditional Asian misting professional wrestling trope is actually to put you to sleep.
Oh,
but no
didn't
one
put her to sleep. No one went to sleep.
The green mist is obstructing your vision, which is what it did to both Rhea and Io.
Mhm.
Red burns the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Black blinds you for weeks. That's the one that Tajiri was using it.
Yeah.
And then the yellow paralyzes you, and purple is a momentary distraction and memory loss. Boy, there are lots of wrestling tropes I wish I had purple mist for.
I absolutely love that. A little disappointed that they didn't follow that. I'm just, what, blame Triple H's booking on that one. Just blame it right away. A couple things I want to note about this. Io, very nice white shirt, completely ruined now. Looked expensive, completely ruined. That thing had blue mist all over it. I really like the Rhea babyface. She came out like super babyface. Incredibly over. I kind of like the way that WWE packaged her right at the beginning. Like, it feels like Rhea could carry a show right now. Like, she could carry a show. Like, she is at that point where she could be like the main star of a 2.5 hour show and carry it in a way that Roman Reigns has for so many years now, which I think was really fun. And I think this was like kind of another example of that, them coming out of there. I really, I enjoyed the dub over with the subtitles. I kind of love when foreigners or foreign wrestlers do like half English, half their own language promos. And that's just me. I might be alone in this, but I kind of love that. And I also love that they gave us the subtitles in it. And Asuka's face paint, also like top 10 right there. That was one of my favorite Asuka face paints I've seen with her heel turn so far. So I really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, the dragon face paint is lovely. And I agree with you. And I think a lot of our watchers and listeners will agree with you as well. If you give talent the opportunity to speak their mother tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and if they want to intersperse the English as well, that is perfect because they are comfortable and confident with that while they're learning English. You see it with Stephanie Vaquer as well, right? She'll speak Spanish, but then she'll intersperse it with some English. Asuka doing the same thing. Yeah, it's a little broken, but it's still impactful, whether you use your native tongue or the English, but just a little bit more comfortable. And those little extra inflections when you're using your mother tongue versus trying to do it in English where you may not know it just yet. I like that stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I mean, one thing I don't want to like brush over this, but we see an hour later, a full hour later, still no shower for Io Sky, right? She's still completely blue, wiping it all off. Perhaps she did fall asleep and that's why she didn't get a shower. Maybe we didn't see it after that. Kairi Sane comes in and is like, hey, just apologize again. They're really pushing this. Like, you just got to apologize thing. I thinking they might get it over. Denies it again. Another hour goes by, basically. About 45 minutes go by. We see him again. Still no shower for Io. So I don't know what was happening there. She didn't bring a change of clothes, but the whole time she just kept the mist on. No shower at any point for Io Sky. So
don't need to. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, I don't know if you saw this, but when Rhea got it last week, she went back to the hotel with her full mist. She didn't even get changed. She was like, you know what? This is a write-off. Everything I'm wearing is just not to come out. I'm just going to make a specimen of myself, make a moment. Everyone's going to see me walking out. She took photos with fans in the full gear that she had on. Just lean into it, man. You're stuck.
That makes me wonder, do they bring out their nicest clothes that they want to like get rid of and they can get like full price from, return from it, because sorry, you got to charge this one to the E now. You know what I mean? TKO, cut that check for this nice $200 shirt that I've already worn 7 times, so.
Well, the Women's Wrestling Fashion Twitter account will probably have an idea of where Io got the shirt, how much she paid for it, and whether or not she could get a return on it. I don't think returns are going to happen on this. You're returning this. Why are you trying to return this? I got spat on.
Yeah, how do you explain a splattering of blue mist upon you? I guess you could just say I fell asleep. I don't really know how it happened,
Yeah, it's perfect. And then someone is like, no, I'm a wrestling fan. I know exactly what happens. They pull up the YouTube video and you're just banned from ever shopping there again. It's just the way it goes. You mentioned later, yes, Kyrie goes to ask Io to apologize, and Io yells, "Leave me alone, Kyrie." Kyrie leaves the photo for Io to look at. It's the three of them together. And then later, beyond that, Rhea finds Io, as you mentioned, and Io says, "I spoke to Adam Pearce. We're going to do the tag match. Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel in Australia." That's going to be not only a great match wrestling-wise, but again, if you think Rhea is over here, there is going to be a moment when she comes out in Australia for that match.
Do you think this is a missed opportunity actually to have Rhea in a solo match? I mean, I know it's been a great story. It's been really fun. Rhea and Io's been cooking for months now as kind of partners. Is this kind of a wasted opportunity though, not to have Rhea in a solo match in Australia?
No, because it's not like you can do a title match. I mean, you can do the US or the Intercontinental Championship, but she's not at all involved in any of those stories. So instead, have the woman that she's been on and off with for so long, Io. And again, this story is so simple and it's so good. Like, it's not bad. It's very overacted and very
fun,
anime inspired, which like I'm enjoying. I'm not going to tell you I'm the biggest anime fan, but like I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And like Io being a longtime rival of Ria Ripley, but there's still respect there, means that you can get this together and bring kind of all tides raising this boat of a match. And Asuka is also trying to rise back into the ranks, right? She was out with that injury for long enough. So for Rhea, this is a moment for her to bring these three women up with her. They're already popular, but it's a different kind of tide that they're raising.
Yeah, I will say this match also has potential to be match of the night at that pay-per-view. These four women can go, so it's going to be fun. Like, I know that it's going to be a fun match. So
absolutely, folks, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. Let's talk about this show, would you? Where is Sean Ross Sapp? He's currently watching the Bengals and the who are they playing?
I don't think he's having the best time if the last I looked at it happened. So watching the Bengals.
See, I'm a Canadian. For me, this doesn't matter. My team, the Blue Jays, they won the AL East. So baseball wise, I'm good. Hockey's about to start. I'm not even a Leafs fan. I'm a Sens fan. We're winning so far. I don't care what the Bengals are up to. So I'm sorry if you're having a bad time, Sean. But he's over on Common Bengals W, either being really happy or being really sad. First tweet I saw was Bengals are absolutely cooked, so I'm pretty sure I know how things are.
The Bengals are pretty cooked. I felt bad that he was going to this particular game. 2 weeks ago, he might have been okay, but this one's rough.
All I can think of is Homer Simpson saying, "Oh, the Denver Broncos." Intercontinental Championship match. Dominic Mysterio defeats Rusev. This crowd, speaking of crowds that love their people, they love Dominic Mysterio. This was unexpectedly loud of a pop for him.
I actually have that down. Rusev gets half entrance. My other note, Dom is so over. That is my other note about this. Which really since WrestleMania, he honestly has been. It's incredible. The AAA stuff is only helping him more and more. He's somehow like Dominic Mysterio has turned himself into like a wrestling fan's favorite wrestler. It's kind of wild. He's that weird, like, anti-heel face. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. He's incredible right now, though. It's just, he has aura. As the kids say, he's got aura.
That's true. I'm too old to agree with that, but it's true. So I'm going to agree with it. He's gotten over for the work that he's done. He's come out the other side from where he began. And I think it's good. I'm not going to tell you he's like generational performer, but I think for the amount of acting he does, for the amount of work that he can do, this was good. Rusev threw Dom around like a ragdoll early. Dominic hit the 619s better than he ever did before. He does the little guy powder work so good, and he's not that small. That's the best part. He tries to do the Eddie Guerrero spot in front of the referee. I thought that was great. The referee's like, no, what the hell is this? And instead, they do the low blow, the roll-up pin, and Pooh, I don't know if you know this about me. You probably don't because we just met tonight. In my house, in this household, when you kick him in the dick, you win for the night. That's the rule.
I agree. You know what? I agree. And what was so funny about it was, and the rest of the Judgment Day, this doesn't apply to them. It's just Dom. And as soon as he kicked him in the balls, the crowd popped. Like it was might have been the biggest pop of the night outside of the final one, which we'll talk about later. It was huge. It was a tremendous pop for it. I popped kind of because I enjoyed seeing it. On the flip side, Rusev feels completely lost. Like he feels completely lost in the shuffle at this moment. which is kind of sad to see. I'm a big Rusev fan, but I was just not shocked, I guess, because I've seen it live. I was at Mania when that happened too, but I was just kind of like, I guess, like excited that I feel like the AAA belt has already kind of helped Dom raise himself a level, even with the WWE stateside audience.
Well, if you want to get raised to another level, if you want that big, meaty pop, and you don't want to get lost in the shuffle, check out our pals at BlueChew.
My friends, you know we always care about your performance at Fightful, and we want to keep that performance at a main event level. And you can with BlueChew and the code Fightful. The same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a much more affordable option. BlueChew is ready whenever you are, or whenever you're not. Helps give you that extra motivation. That way you can make sure that your performance is at a championship level. You go online to BlueChew.com, and when approved by our online physicians, you get that confidence, you get that performance, and you get it shipped straight to your door. No awkward conversations with the doctor, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, all of that stuff. You use that code FIGHTFUL, get your first shipment free. That's how confident that they are that they're going to make you confident. What do you have to lose? BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
He's here in spirit. Here to...
What a segue, by the way.
Thank you. We're known for those on this website. If I don't get them, nobody gets them.
It was incredible.
Well, thank you very much. Seth and Cody's package part 1. I could have used that for the BlueChew spot, but you know what? We already had it good. I like that this was part 1 and they're reestablishing how both men have been in each other's orbits since Cody's return. Very simple, very straightforward. We can talk about that and we can get right into Seth's promo, which is interrupted by Cody midway through. This stuff, again, they're trying to tell you that we are important. You know, Seth is telling you this winner it's a little heavy-handed. He says the winner will decide the next 20 to 30 years, 10 to 20 years of the future of the industry. I'm like, okay, well, that's just your choice. Seth thinks it should be him. The crowd and Pro Wrestling Illustrated think it should be Cody. Cody comes out. No pyro. Cody's very confused by this. They go for the pyro shot, and it's just like, huh? Well, anyway, he goes down and says he does the crowd makes the rules gimmick, and the crowd is behind Cody. And then Cody adds that little bit of dissension. Who is in control of the vision? Mm-hmm. And Seth says, everything goes through me. And then Cody says, what about Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar? And Cody brings it back to Mania 40. And Seth says, nope, we were never friends. This is horseshit. I don't care. We were never friends. I have to beat you. And I'm going to cleanse the timeline. Seth says, rewrite history, and it'll be a new future after Crown Jewel. I liked this because this is one of those matches where it's just the two champions. What are we doing? Brand supremacy, blah, blah, blah. This time they're adding the history of these two men into it, and they're bringing in the future. I like that this has more meat in it than just, hey, you're the champs, go fight each other.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, this kind of made me a bit more excited for the match. I just thought it was a really good, fun promo. Two of the better talkers in the game, kind of at their best, just kind of going at it. Seth had a moment right in the middle where the crowd's chanting, where he kind of broke down, and I thought that was really good. The emotion was fire on that. I want to be a hater of this. I really do, because if you know me, I am a general hater of Cody because I find him corny. I do find Cody a bit corny, which is the only thing you can really knock him on, all right? I do find that. I really like this segment. I liked Cody's part. I like that they established I like the part 1 like pre-tape of it to kind of establish that. I liked everything going into it. I felt like Seth was passionate. I felt like Cody had a little bit of that kind of Bullet Club-esque arrogance almost to him during it. It just felt really good. It felt really important. It also felt like Seth was getting desperate, which I think is kind of what they want to do with this. I really hope they kind of lean towards Seth just because it's been so pro Cody for the last 2 years. I think like it could be a good way to go and kind of spiral Cody into a new kind of different spot as champion instead of having the spotless record as champion. So I hope that's where they go with it. But I got to agree. It was just a really kind of great, fun, emotional segment right there. It was a good promos.
I'm of the belief that Seth will win at Crown Jewel. I also am of the belief that it won't be for reasons that he likes. Because before the match tonight, before the main event, they're showing Seth and he says, I have to beat him. I have to do this. And Paul tries to talk him up and he basically says, shut up with his hands. He says, I got to do it. And to me, Paul Heyman will then put up the Brock signal. And whether you like it or not, unfortunately for some, Brock might very well get himself involved in costing Cody Rhodes the match.
Yeah.
Seth winning.
Yeah, I kind of like where that theory is going. I mean, the fact that they brought him up tonight lends some credence to that theory. You know, you see the rest of the division, you know, get taken out one by one by Cody, or, you know, who knows, comes out and helps Cody at that point, like any babyface number 1, 2, 3. And then Paul Heyman calls out the big gun Brock F5. Seth pins him. And then there's, and I like where that leads to, because then there's this, you know, who leads the vision. Like, you know, they could actually do something with Brock instead of just having him come out and go away.
I mean,
it's not my favorite, but it's not I'm not a big fan of it, you know, personally. But yeah, I mean, that could at least, you know, get Brock involved in something. If you're going to have him there, at least like have him be involved in like some sort of storyline at this point. So I mean, I like where you're going with that. I think it makes sense. Time will tell. They don't have Cody lose often, man. They just don't have Cody lose often. So,
but when they do, it's got to mean something. And I think a Seth Rollins win with the Brock Lesnar caveat makes it more impactful for Cody. Mm-hmm. Usually when Cody loses, he just, you know, just complain. Well, he doesn't complain about it, but he just kind of sulks away and then comes back and says, I'm still tough. And everyone's like, yeah, you're fine.
I got a story. I got a next book to write. You know,
come out wearing the Guile headpiece.
Well, you know, at some point, Cody needs a break, right? At some point, Cody and Roman need 3 months. So, I mean, I don't know when they're going to do that. You know,
I think Cody came and did it, and then he came.
Cody's already done it. Guile has six scenes in the whole thing. You know, like what do we do?
It just feels like whoever's already done, like Hiroki Goto, who's in the movie. He's like, I'm coming back soon. It's like, oh, so you don't win the movie? Got it. In the Mortal Kombat fighting, Street Fight, in the Street Fighter fighting, you are terrible. God. I can't believe I just mixed up my fighting games.
I like how us paying attention to wrestling lets us know a spoiler for the Street Fighter movie coming in 2027. Yeah.
or they're just really good and they've got all their scenes done and
flawless victory. Yeah, also wrong game, but still.
Fatality. Damn it. Speaking of getting things wrong, did you notice that the theme for Crown Jewel sounds like Tommy Two Tones 8675309?
I did notice that. Also, I know this isn't the first time, but I still think it's weird they do Crown Jewels in like other places besides Saudi Arabia. I feel like it's like part of making us accept the Saudi shows more. I don't know, you know, like. So
this is the first time they're doing it outside of Saudi.
Yeah.
And the presenting sponsor again is Riyadh Season, so it really feels like it was like, hey, here's the money, do it in Australia, I guess. It's the way it feels to me. I could be completely off base. Who knows? Again, looking at the presenting sponsor and be like, all right, so that's how the belts and the IP goes to other countries. Sure. Whatever. That big ugly belt and the rings will go with them, and everyone will say, ooh, so shiny and pretty.
Obnoxiously large belts.
Just comically.
They're so big. They are so big.
Someone's saying the theme was by Green Day. It feels like the theme is like Green Day for the millennials, Tommy Two Tone for the Gen Xers, and I'm not a Gen Xer. I'm a millennial. I'm just old as hell. Just on the inside, generationally, I'm just old as hell. Anyway, Bayley's with Lyra Valkyria backstage. She's wearing Lyra's shirt, even though she cussed out Lyra last week in her fit of rage. Lyra's annoyed. Bayley doesn't want her out again. Bayley's like, I can't do it without you. And Lyra's like, we'll see. So Raquel Rodriguez then defeats Bayley. Did that happen? That's how it happened. Right?
That is how it happened.
That's how it happened. Big boot to Hana Von and the pinfall. After Roxanne rakes Bayley's eyes in front of the referee, as Raquel's distracting the referee. There's a spot earlier in the match, by the way, the Rana into the spinning swing into the barricade. Shit was great.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. What do you think of this match? It was pretty paint by numbers for me, at least.
It was the middle of the road match. I don't know of a good Raquel Rodriguez match. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be a hater right there. Like, it's been a while since I've felt that from her, at least since, you know, NXT days. So I wasn't like expecting much out of this match. This is getting through. The point of this match at the end of the day was to tell the story. At the end, after this match, Roxanne Gibson jumps her for reasons unknown, just because she's mean, I guess. Just because she's mean. And Lyra has a change of heart. She has a change of heart. Frustratingly comes out in the checkered skort, by the way. Holds it together the whole time. Never lets the skort part show, which was incredible. Completely sold it. Then they have Bayley does like a mental snap, kind of hulks out and takes out Roxanne and Raquel all at one time. And then kind of warps back into Joker Bayley. We saw not Hugger Bayley, but a third mental
multiform Bayley.
Wade Barrett, they're starting to sell this a little too hard for me. Wade Barrett said, and I quote, she just had a mental shift. She had a mental shift. You can physically see her mental shift, which is they're just selling it really hard. I think we kind of get where it's going, but I don't really know what the payoff of this is going to be. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily working for me. I kind of am ready for Bayley to just go back full hugger, and that would kind of be fun for a little bit. But this has not been working for me. I don't know how this has been working for y'all out there in time, but I don't get it. I feel like they're really trying to sell it hard, and it's just not coming off the way they want.
I'm waiting until they call Bayley hitting that knee. They're going to call it the Bay Psycho knee instead of the Boo Psycho knee, and put emphasis on psycho, and everyone will be like, that's really funny. This is better than when they were showing the vignettes of Bayley talking to herself, and it was a whole lot of weird discourse. Oh, I understood it from like a wrestling presentation standpoint. That whole vignette of we're in her head, but why are we hearing her thoughts when wrestling is supposed to be live and in person, and only like you're seeing it just like everyone else is seeing it. Anyway, now she's actually in front of the people, and you're not just hearing her thoughts. She's actually having these random snaps and snips, and that's fine. But I agree with you. Eventually, she's gonna have to figure something out. Whatever she's supposed to be, like, what does this become? Does she become a babyface? Does she stick to being a heel? Does she just flip-flop from week to week? Because now we're gonna flip-flop, from last week where Roxanne had the match. Now it's Raquel. So I guess now Lyra's gonna do the matches. She's gonna take on Roxanne and Raquel. Are we gonna keep doing this until they figure out what does Bayley need to do? Who comes out of this whole thing?
Yeah, I actually like your idea of just literally flip-flopping her back and forth, heel face every week. And she's just working with random people, whoever she came in with that night, And eventually that could lead to her working with one particular group that she's going to, screw over eventually. And I don't know. I don't understand where they're going with this. Like they've had other split personality. Like we've seen split personality like gimmicks before. And I can't think of one that I particularly thought worked really well. So it's tough.
I don't think they know either. I think they're really just hoping they can either get this through something, get someone over with it, or eventually turn it into the AJ Lee Bayley match that both women seem to want.
Yeah.
But we got time for that. El Bayley Americano. That's exactly it. We need
hey, listen, if your gimmick's failing, be an Americano at this point, because it's going to work.
It just works. Speaking of work, LA Knight's backstage with Adam Pearce, and he says he was a great referee at WrestlePalooza, and Adam Pearce is like, no, you weren't. You suck. He says, stay out of the main event tonight. And then Knight's like, well, that's fine, but I want Seth Rollins one-on-one. And then the New Day walk in. And you know what? They made it so simple. It was, they want the tag team title match. And Adam Pearce is like, no, go away. LA Knight's like, oh, should I leave? Because I'm not. And then Kofi's like, listen, I won a title. And LA Knight's like, great, so I'll beat your ass next because I won a title match and I'm going to beat a former champion. Easy peasy telling the story. I love that that's how we got there.
Yeah, I thought it was good. First of all, my boy Xavier Woods made some great points. I just want to back him up on that. A friend of my stream, so I got his back. Great points he made. No, I thought that was fun. I thought it was a fun way to get to the match. Gave it a little, extra gravitas. I kind of like LA Knight bringing up the fact that he's a former champion. Beating a former champion adds more credence to LA Knight's current run of wanting to get a championship. I mean, this is where LA Knight's character has been trying to go for 3 years now. You know what I mean? So it's good to kind of see him really into that, title scene picture. Whether they pull the trigger on it or not, it will remains to be seen. But
No, we will, because LA Knight then defeats Kofi Kingston because he's on his path after all. Sorry, Xavier Woods. You tried. You tried to get involved. You ate a second rope clothesline. LA Knight goes for the back suplex, turns it into a BFT for the win. You know what? Didn't see LA Knight beef on anything tonight, so I think we're in the clear. I think LA Knight's in a good spot. This was good. Simple, effective. Get him week to week. Get both guys in the New Day on the show. Get LA Knight on the show. He gets that big pop. People love him. Why not?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed the finish. I thought it was one of the better come out of BFT moments. Honestly, the BFT has this problem where it's not as fire as a cutter or a stunner. It's not as surprising as those. And I thought this was one of the better ones personally. So
yeah, easy, straightforward. Just hit it. Just like your super chats and your humper chats. Get them in. All right, get them right now. Tozawa and Maxine Dupree are backstage. And then Becky walks in, calls Maxine 5'9" of failure. And I'm sitting there and I say, damn, okay, Becky, I see it. I get it. And she does everyone's saying it. Sports Illustrated saying it. Bleacher Report saying it. Maxine's like, well, not everyone's saying it. AJ Lee's not saying it. And then Tozawa laughs. Becky just punches him in the throat because that's just what you do when you get upset. And then comes back and beats down Maxine Dupree and then walks over to Seth Rollins. This is before Seth does his promo. And she basically just says, are you going to be okay? You need my help? Seth is just like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm all right. This is good stuff. Very straightforward. Maxine Dupree, Becky Lynch. That's a easy peasy matchup to make.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought that was funny. Get Tozawa on the show. Get Maxine Dupree on the show. Tozawa, man, I got to give credit to Tozawa, honestly. Just been doing this in the E, keeping his job for a decade plus now. I mean, he's been there 13 years and still kind of finds something to do. It was funny. It was a funny little moment. And then we got to see, Becky and Seth together. One thing I didn't mention about Seth earlier, fire outfit as well. Had the shoulder pads, the straight out kind of robot shoulder pads, and the high heels, the 80s rocker high heels, which I thought was very impressive for Seth to rock. Looked way taller than Cody tonight. So I just want to get that in there as well for him. But yeah, I thought that was just a funny little segment. It was fun. And Becky, Maxine will be a good thing for them. I think that's a good match for Maxine where you give her opportunities to get a good amount of offense in, and that will elevate her level enough,
Yeah, and hopefully the match is as solid as it can be because, again, Fightful Select, the best 599 in the business, we reported that in conversations with WWE people, Becky Lynch has been going back to tides and boats and all that, she has been that boat raising tide for a lot of wrestlers who have come back, those who are trying to kind of get back up. Becky has been that, linchpin in that regard. So to give her a match with Maxine, if Maxine and Becky deliver, then you're on the right path with someone like that. And I like that they're giving her the shot. That is something that's deserved. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I want to mention, I felt Maxine's promo work in this was actually it felt very natural, more natural than she has in a long time.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. And she didn't come off as ditzy blonde. She came off as someone who had something to say, and she got her joke off, And going back to your point about Tozawa, he has been lauded by a lot of his peers as being very underrated as a performer. He continues to be, whether it's comedy you want or just a solid wrestler in the ring, or you just want a guy who can beat ass. He is that guy. The problem is, he doesn't go above. They gave him that ceiling, but he continues to work as hard as he does.
Dude, he just took a concrete bump tonight from Becky's throat shot. That was a legit bump he had to take. So.
Oh, I just thought about that. That poor guy.
Yeah.
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I think as a tag team, we should be calling them AJ Lee.
I see where that would actually have incredible amounts of comedy, and I wish WWE would have the testicular fortitude to pull that off, honestly. That would actually be great. Yeah.
Well, they defeat Los Americanos. New face paint for Dragon Lee. I think that looks great.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be challenging Dominic Mysterio for the AAA Mega Campeonato soon. He basically says, hey, I'm coming for you. And then AJ says, thanks to you guys, I get to do the one thing that I love more than anything in the world. Beat up John Cena. So I'm looking forward to that. Listen, John's not showing up before Australia. This was put together exclusively on social media because WWE knew, we don't have a date. So we're just going to set it up like this. Fun match, looking forward to it. What are your thoughts on the John Cena retirement tour? I know he's not on these shows, but we got you here. What do you think about how they're handling it?
I'm actually, I'm always going to be sad that they didn't just see the heel run through wherever it could have gone. I kind of liked the idea. I think it would have, while it did lag in the middle, I think as he got closer to that retirement holding the belt, I think there actually would have been a lot of drama attached to it. Will he actually take the belt? Will they let him take the belt away? I think that could have been a lot of fun. So I wish they would have just let it go. We've seen this nice babyface John Cena before. Why not just give us something different to remember him by? Personally, since SummerSlam, I think it's really cooled off a bit too because of that. Losing the belt, it kind of loses some of the gravitas to it. And then also the loss to Brock Lesnar, I thought was just maybe strange. It's not like he's losing to Dom, an up-and-comer, someone that's going to be there for 10 years. This is a 48-year-old man who is just gone for 4.5 years and has God knows what going on outside of the ring right now. So I thought that was kind of like a strange move for them to pull. I think at this point, I think it's hard to say the John Cena tour hasn't been anything but a little disappointing. And we're to the point of it now where it just feels like we're running the greatest hits with the greatest hits of me doing other people's moves and the greatest hits of my moves and just kind of running the moments rather than like this kind of new exploratory tour that we were getting. So it is what it is, but glad it happened, I guess. It's better than it not happening, I guess. Like if my choice is this or like no John Cena retirement tour, like I'll take this, so.
I get it. I think there's a general consensus that the heel turn could have been so much more.
Oh yeah, of course.
Whatever happened with The Rock and with Travis Scott clearly affected something. And while we don't know for sure yet, I'm sure at one point we're going to find out exactly how it went down and what did or didn't happen. And you feel a little bit for John because you almost want him to have a full year of stories to tell. And instead there were 5 months where you were like, oh, you're just telling the same story over and over again about these people, promos. And it made it very difficult to watch sometimes. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I think they did the about face and then they did the SummerSlam match and now we're back on track. But there were 5 solid months there in the hot period of the year where you really could have done some impeccable stuff. But we got what we get. I'm glad that they're doing the AJ match. I think it's perfect for that send off, and we'll see what the last 3 months look like. But I feel like there will be a lot of questions about, what could we have done better, and the answer would have been a lot.
Yeah, I would have loved to see like what was the actual John Cena heel plan, because I have to feel like it was like on paper a pretty fun, good story. Because I feel like John Cena cared enough that he probably wanted to know how his last year was going to go, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe I know I'm in the minority of this, but I just enjoy seeing someone be douchey after not. I don't know. It's fun for me. So, and I think it would have, no matter what, I think as it got closer to the end would have felt bigger as it got closer to the end. So,
yeah, I get it. So with him going to Australia, doing the match with AJ, it will lead down to whatever Survivor Series is. I think we got a little bit of a taste of what we could be looking at towards Survivor Series. We'll talk about that with the main event. But for now, AJ Lee, as it would be, take on Los Americanos. They're calling them Bravo and Rio.
Bravo and Rio. Yes, I wrote that down. Yeah, those are names. I was kind of curious where they came up with those names, how they came up with those.
Well, you see, Bravo wore blue tights. And Rio wears red tights.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just easy to remember. It's not like that one book I read to my kid where the guys were named T and P and they were like, oh, tortoise and porpoise. And they're like, no, it's Tony and Paul, and I'm Tony the porpoise and I'm Paul the tortoise. It's easy to remember. Just reverse it. And it's like, no, it's not. That seems like it's a problem on porpoise.
You know what I will say, I was happy that they gave some names and what do I want to say, a match to the extra Americanos, to the Grande Americano universe right here. I think at this point with the Grande Americano thing though has like sold out. Like I think we're kind of waiting for Chad Gable to come back to see where the next part of this goes. Now that these guys are just like, Ludwig Kaiser's backup at this point. They're not like just popping out everywhere, just reproducing. Now they're just legitimately his backup. They're kind of a stable at this point. So I guess I'm curious to see where it goes from here now, but glad they got names and a a match.
A flippier version of a Team New Catch Republic that used to exist, right? All I'm saying is if they're going to be Americanos, they should probably be, I don't know, Los Britannicos. But
Los Britannicos.
although let's face it, allegedly the men behind the mask are
none of them are American.
None of them are American. So really, they may have made this better.
Which I think also adds to the comedy of the entire gimmick, you know. But at the same time, Ludwig is at this point as much Spanish as he can be. The way he's coming out and singing in AAA matches, like there's no doubt, Grande Americano is weirdly over in Mexico at this moment. So,
oh, there are a lot of things that are curiously over in Mexico.
Fair, but like he's super over there. It's kind of great, you know. So
true. Referee's distracted. AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm. Americano pushes him off. Styles then takes out Grande Americano. And then there's another phenomenal forearm. Dragon Lee does the assisted Styles clash for AJ to hit, and then takes out the other man for the win. Dragon Lee, AJ Styles get the win. You know what? It makes sense. You're building both men for their individual singles matches, and Americano just looks dumb. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a lot of losses for the two smaller Americanos in there for Bravo and Rio. Rio. Yeah, Rio would not be. There's already a Rio over there. Yeah. So they can't. For Bravo and Rio, I see a lot of tag team and individual losses in their future. A lot of interference, a lot of handing Ludwig Grande Americano a metal plate in the coming future. Listen, you need someone to take some pins sometimes. You know what I mean? And could anyone under those masks see some pins? I guess right now. So.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, the peso right now, it's affordable. You know what's not affordable?
Oh my God, I love this. I love where you're going with this.
If you're in the US, there are a lot of things that aren't affordable. You can watch Raw on Netflix, but you know what? With NordVPN, you can watch everything in one spot.
Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff, any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after one or two pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., and you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support, so if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. Fastest VPN on the planet, NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Folks, I just got my receipt from Triller TV because that's how I watch AEW programming. $4.99, $5 is my subscription, and that's what you get. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Get on it. It's $2 a month. You want all the support. You want everything you want out of it. NordVPN.com/Fightful. We have got you covered. Get the Netflix deal, man. Over here in Canada, it's good. It's $6 Canadian. That's like $3 for. Well, your inflation is going to hit. Anyway, the point is the dollar is going to take a tumble. It's fine. We'll all take over. Anyway, the point is you can go over and you can get some. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Come on. What's wrong?
Come on.
Save the money. They're doing a billion other deals with a billion other places. Just get it all in one spot. Save yourself all the hassle, all the money. Come on, get on it. I'm telling you.
I also just, watching Raw anywhere but America is significantly better because you get like 4 extra promos and don't miss anyone's entrance.
That's true. You do. Although for a while they were cutting them out. It was very strange. Now they've inserted them back in. They're like, people were complaining. They were cutting out all these international promos. Listen, some of them are good. Some of them are whatever. The one with Finn and JD McBighead tonight, that one was weird, but it was like comedically weird because it was all about tinfoil hats and conspiracy theories. And Finn Balor's just being like, oh, maybe I'm going to go down and I'm going to get your tinfoil hat. Or maybe I won't.
Well, I think that what's really fun about those is like it feels like they have a little bit more freedom on the like not airing in commercial promos, not airing in America promos. It feels like they do get a little bit more freedom, a little bit more time to play with it. So
yeah, it works out. It's fun little stuff. That's why we don't really cover it on these shows, just because unless they're notable, we don't do it. Why not? Yeah. But also, you had Penta approach Dominic Mysterio at one of those promos and basically say, "I'm coming after you," and good enough. People love both men, but they especially love Penta. So really, what does it matter? Everyone's over. That's all that matters. So speaking of over, Stephanie Vaquer is backstage. Tiffany Stratton interrupts her, said they're going to both fly around the globe, but it will still be Tiffy time. And then Tiffy time is over. La Primera will be second. Both women kind of taking little barbs at each other. This was a match that when I talked about it on In the Weeds, which is our morning show over on Fightful Overbooked, go subscribe to our sister channel, 10 a.m. Eastern every single day. We talked about this match potentially not being Tiffany Stratton. Clearly it is. What do you think going into this, knowing that these are two women who are very popular and are coming from two different worlds into this match? What do you think about Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship?
This is one of those matches where I am a little torn because I don't feel like I want either of these women to really lose right now to each other. And this is one problem that I have with these kind of champion versus champion matches. It always puts one of the champions in kind of a tough spot coming out of them. And I don't really want either one of these women to be in that spot. So there's no bad blood. I thought they did a good job. I thought that was kind of like a good kind of like build up. It didn't feel like there was too much heat, too much tension, just two girls wanting to prove they were the best so far, which I kind of enjoyed that. I think they can kind of like build up on that over the next few weeks before we get to Perth. So overall, I thought it was kind of a nice little fun. It was a quick segment. Stephanie Vaquer, again, we talked about the English versus Spanish promo. She dropped a little Los Cientos in there. We all know what that means. So that was fun. Her English has gotten so much better just in 6 months, which is incredible. She's, a fine talker now. So I thought this was a fun little kind of back and forth barb of just kind of establishing like, listen, we may not hate each other, but we both want to be the best.
Yeah, I'm fine with this match being a who's going to be. You know what? You take the Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins moniker of the match, that who's going to lead the company in 10 to 20 years, and you put it on this particular match, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Because both women, while especially popular, they're both coming, like I said, from different worlds, and they are both tastemakers for the women's divisions that they represent. So for that, like I can see that being the battle cry, but instead I wish they would do a little bit more than it's Tiffy time or La Primera. I want more meat on the bone. Maybe we'll get some before Australia, but for now, it's like the match itself is going to be very fun.
Yeah, and I think that's something, if they have a good match, this is something where they could establish a more long-term rivalry between that kind of like, especially going back to like old Tiffy NXT, like rich girls type of stuff, and La Primera having to come through AAA, work all the way through there, wrestle so many people, everything that happened over there. I think there's a lot of things that they could do.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, let's get a super chat in from Meat Enormous saying, "Sup, partners? 2 screens of football, smoked wings, and pulled pork taco Jones over here. Thanks for watching Raw, so I don't have to." We got you, Meat Enormous, I promise. Maybe you're looking for a little more sour approach to Raw, or maybe you're looking at a sour approach to SmackDown, or whatever you want. You can catch Sour Graps over on Fightful Select, the best $5.99 in the business. By the way, Sean answering questions all the time over on our Discord, and his Select Answers portion over on Fightful Select. You can get a little bit about the likelihood of Saudi Arabia buying WWE, Maki Ito and her contract with Tokyo Joshi Pro, and a little bit about my favorite, TNA, and the TNA Knockouts Knockdown. So go ahead, go subscribe to that. Today we dropped stories about WWE Unreal and Seth Rollins getting involved in that storyline for this coming season.
We actually I am going to be streaming a lot of TNA. We got some rights to a lot of TNA upcoming shows here that we're going to be doing on our stream lately. So
you're welcome, and I'm sorry.
You know what? You know what's great about the TNA streams is like each one has an LOL TNA moment because they like feed it right from the venue. Like they don't feed us the TV one; they feed us a separate feed, and each time we get at least one moment.
Oh, I'm missing out.
It's pretty great.
But
It's perfect for Twitch.
For those who watch our post show, there is one thing that you will always catch me doing, and that is talking about production. Whether it's the color grading is off, or they didn't hit the slate on time, or they cut to something awkwardly. There's always something.
Something.
Death, taxes, some sort of production issue with the TNA show. I love it. That's what keeps me going. That's the only thing that keeps me covering that product sometimes, folks. I promise. Bound for Glory is October 12th. Myself and Steven Jensen will be here talking about the show. Anyway, the Usos are backstage earlier in the night. This is our going into our main event. So go ahead, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. This is the moment. This is the part that you all want to hear. Jimmy asked Jay, why'd you walk away from me and join up with LA Knight last week? And Jay's like, nah, man, LA screwed you. They screwed us at WrestlePalooza. So Jay then throws a question back to Jimmy, being like, well, why didn't you help me? And then Jay's like, listen, I'm going to assert dominance with or without you. And you don't understand it because this is going to make me champion again. Notice that they're all wearing dark colors now. Jay Uso is done. He's done with happy-go-lucky Jay. It's over. No more bright blues and pinks and oranges. No. It's black. It's silver. It's simple. Yeet is dead, baby. It's Monday Night Raw, and it's about to get even. By the way, that's a terrible line that they're using, Monday Night. But it's just, anyway, not important right now. They're don't do that. But the point is, they are moving away from that. And you can see it week by week. But if you haven't noticed it yet, you've been living under a rock, just like WWE's popularity. Tornado tag match. This is the finale. Usos defeat Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and you know what? He's back, baby. For the 50th time this year, Roman Reigns makes his return. Steel chair in hand. If it looks familiar, it happened last time too. But he's back. And he helps the Usos win. This is actually a really fun tornado tag. So first of all, they do the thing, which is call it a tornado tag, so we have no disqualification, so we can get away with doing a bunch of schmaz and doing a bunch of stuff, so we don't do a disqualification, which people were getting on us for weeks. Give them that. And of course, we bring back Roman Reigns, and that's a huge big surprise. Fightful Selected reported he was done filming for now. He could be back as soon as whenever. Well, tonight was the night. And again, fun match, hot start, good spots. Let's talk about it. What do you think?
No, I mean, I agree. It was a fun match. I mean, Bron Breakker produces pretty good fun matches. He's in a lot of fun matches. I thought this was one of the better Jey Uso matches I've seen in a while too, honestly. I think his shtick has been growing, at least for me, a little stale. Super kick, yeet. Frog splash. For me, it was getting a little stale. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed this one. I felt that it had some gravitas. It's feeling, it still has that blood feud, bloodline, history and story to it going through it. And then, you get the aura of Roman Reigns coming back. The biggest pop of the night, poor Dom had it up until that moment. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun match. I thought the table spot was fun, with Breakker throwing him through the table off of the wall. I thought that was like a really good fun spot right before the commercial. Looked painful, looked great. Everybody was safe. Loved it.
Yeah, that leap from Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
So it starts off with Bronson Reed and Jimmy fighting on the announce table. Bronson's teasing the jagged edge. Jimmy gets out, super kicks him, and then Bron just leaps across from the timekeeper's barricade and hits a clothesline. I think he maybe wanted a spear, but he turned it into a clothesline instead. Through the announce table, through Jimmy. He buries Jimmy under all the rubble, and then they just beat down Jay for an extended amount of time. It's good stuff. And they heap all of the heat on until Roman Reigns comes back. Usos hit a super kick and a spear. Jimmy hits the splash. He pins Bron. This is the moment. Post-match, Roman's got Jay by the face, and he's telling him, it's your time. You're the man. You take over. This is your yard. And Jimmy's just behind him, and he's just like, we're doing this shit again? Like, I got out of this stuff. Like, why do we got to do this now? Why are we doing this? He's annoyed, and it's perfect. And this has been the Jey Uso story for the last few weeks. He's been getting a little bit, bigger in his britches. I like that they're going a little bit heavy-handed, and Roman is doing it again. He is gaslighting his family again. And he's going to use this under the auspices of, I am doing things for my family. I won't be here, but he will. They're going to play that game. And Jimmy and Jay are going to have to fight over again. And I hope they figure out something better than, the brothers fight and that's it. But I like where they're going with it. I like that they're going to give Jay a little bit more to chew on. And I feel like this might lean into the War Games match. This might be 3 out of the 5 guys in that match. You add Cody, you add CM Punk, and they take on the Vision with Brock Lesnar in tow.
I like where you're going with this. That would make a lot of sense. Brock Lesnar, you think Brock Lesnar is going to do a War Games match, though? You really think we're getting Brock Lesnar in a cage for 40 minutes?
Well, that's the thing. You don't need to do 40 minutes in the cage. You can the last guy in the cage and he just wrecks shit for 5 minutes and goes away. There are ways you can play around with it. That's
sure.
I don't necessarily think people expect Brock to be doing this, but also he fits in with the story.
It does. He does fit in with the story. I like where you're going with that. I also like the idea of, I also feel like they're heading towards Jimmy too, but flip heel face. This time Jimmy's going to be the face. Jay's going to be the heel. Turn on his brother to take his opportunity at some point, maybe during the Rumble.
Maybe.
But I like where you're going with this. It does make a lot of sense. Everyone fits in the storyline. Time will tell. We'll see. The thing is, for me, it's and this is what it always goes with Brock Lesnar. I just don't ever have faith of him actually being in a show or wanting to. I don't like when he's in my big matches because I don't like when he was in the Money in the Bank match in 2019. It's just he just comes out for 2 seconds. It's I don't know. My big matches, I like keeping it my big matches, and I don't necessarily want him joining them.
Believe me, I have personally no interest in having this man, Brock Lesnar, part of anything. Right? Quite frankly, I'd love him to be off of my TV and away from WWE, but
yes,
I don't get that say. So instead, I have to find ways to make this somewhat knowledgeable of a take on a product that is however you feel about it. For Brock, if they were going back to John Cena, which maybe they're not. Maybe that's it. At which point you wonder, what was the point of the WrestlePalooza match? Well, whatever. If they're not going back to John Cena and Cena's going to move on, well, then he's not going to be part of the War Games match. If they're going to do 3 matches with Brock and one of them is going to be the one at WrestlePalooza, the next one potentially a one-on-one at Survivor Series, and then the third one December 13th in DC. They announced officially tonight, Saturday night's main event will be there, something that we have been talking about for a little while here on Fightful Select. So if that's the case, then you can do those 3 matches and then you'll feel how you feel about John Cena's retirement then. But then you got Brock just off to the side doing his thing, completely blissfully unaware that there's stuff happening in WWE other than John Cena's retirement.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this, the Vision, the Bloodline is going to be intertwined feels like kind of till Mania. So I definitely see where you're going with this. And when I think about it, I didn't really put it together until this moment, but when I think about it, it does make the most sense at this point. It also gives extra credence to dropping Brock Lesnar's name during tonight's promo with Cody.
And Paul's part of it. And Paul's part of every story that intertwines with this. He's involved with Cody. He's involved with Roman. He's involved with Seth. He's involved with Brock. He could be involved with Jay. Again, Bloodline adjacent. He can be a part of everything. Everything comes through Paul, for better or for worse. We got a Humper chat from Mr. Straightfire saying WWE's booking hasn't been satisfying as of late. Triple H seems to be involved in a lot more things than just creative inside WWE, and now as part of the Trump administration. Is there any talk about him being less present or involved in creative? That's something that we can ask with Sean, but as we've come to believe, most of the time, he is backstage running point at Raw. Unless he says on a podcast, oh shit, I wasn't there. I was doing Kill Tony that week. But other than that, he's seemingly there. He is seemingly part of it. And he's got a full team as well that he's working with. I think right now we're dealing with not a great representation of opportunity when it comes to WWE programming.
This is always the weird time in WWE programming too. It is this time between SummerSlam and the Rumble is generally going to be kind of the toughest time. This is when guys take surgery. They want to get back for Mania season, et cetera, et cetera. So it usually happens like this, where people get plugged into weird spots. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that sentiment at all. I had to catch up to be prepared for this. I had to catch up with some YouTube recaps over the last few weeks because it hasn't been able to hold my attention the way, say, AEW has recently. So, I can't disagree with that super chat at all. I think that's the general sentiment.
At the same time, it's funny that Mr. Straightfire will bring this up because, talking about working outside of your creative job, that was something that people get on Tony Khan about in AEW every year around this time when football season starts. And he's suddenly balancing a lot more, and creative sometimes takes a bit of a nosedive through the winter months in AEW. And I think it's a valid concern. I don't think, specifically speaking of the Humper Chat, where they're talking about being part of the administration and working with RFK and all that, whatever, I don't think that takes up nearly as much time. I think it's when you're being put as the face of the brand for literally everything that it can potentially take away from your time working on creative. But if you got time sitting on a plane, you could be writing down ideas. But I don't know what his day-to-day is like.
Listen, I would say that the American administration probably has significantly less to do with WWE programming on a week-to-week basis than the Saudi Arabian administration.
A fair point.
I think that one is much more influential, especially now with the boxing. We saw in the middle of the show, they promoted the new boxing thing TKO is doing with them. So, I think that's the administration that has more leaning on the creative there, if any of them.
Just don't forget your EMF blockers. If you buy one, return them immediately.
You know what? I'll also say it too. Whenever we get to a crown jewel, it throws everything out of whack for a couple weeks. It really does. Every single crown jewel throws everything in a weird spot because they got to do these like super matches and things. I almost wish they would just promote them as just like really good exhibition matches, like almost forbidden door style, where they're just like, these matches are happening, watch them or don't. I don't know, When
the Saudi stuff started, that's the way it was presented.
Yeah.
The shows were out of canon. They were just like, they did them. Everyone was like, ugh, this feels gross. And then they would just kind of forget about them afterwards. The last call for super chats and humper chats as we get through to the end of the show. Volib sends a super chat saying, honestly, of Bork Laser, God, I love that name, of Bork Laser, if he's going to be there, I'd like to see him as little as possible. Let him come in last and go away first. We're talking about War Games or the Royal Rumble for that matter. I get it. There's no other way I can say it. The crowds will cheer for him despite the reality of being named 44 times in a sexual assault lawsuit. And then before anyone starts with, oh, he's not accused of anything. No, he's named. He's still adjacently part of it. And as I will remind people, the only reason that he didn't follow through on the things that he is alleged to have been going to follow through on is because he got too drunk to perform and a snowstorm stopped him. So just to put it very bluntly, don't think he should be on TV, but of course, WWE wanted to bring him home.
And that's the thing, is that even without that, I didn't want him on my TV. But when you add that in, it makes it so like hard. It's just like so exhausting, and it doesn't make any sense. In WWE, I just like, they need to be younger. They need to be younger. There's so many of their stars are old. They're just plain old, and they haven't done a great job of making a star under 30. We need them to. They need to get younger. Period. Booking Brock Lesnar is not the way to do it. I don't know. Like, I don't know any other way to say it. Like, when you have guys coming into NXT, they're, like Ricky Saints is what, 34, 35 years old already? Like, like these are not spring chickens here. Like, these are not young guys. Young guys generally push entertainment. Even at WWE's peak, you had younger superstars. When you think about those 90s times, these were younger superstars. I really wish they would just get younger instead of just kind of pushing tired old Brock Lesnar again. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't know whose idea this was at any point.
If it ends with somebody ending Brock, so to speak, with whether that's an Femi, whoever the next big guy is, you need to make someone out of this, because years and years and years ago, you had Brock beat The Undertaker, defeat the streak. And that did something to Brock. I know at the time the feeling was, why would you have this guy? Well, because you made him an unbeatable bastard. And that was great. Now we've played that card so many times that it's almost useless. So there is room for a better model. There is room for a younger crop of talent to come in and be a part of it. And yeah, your primes, you're getting them later. That's fine. But it's time to start building a younger crop of talent now, and not just bringing them up, losing them until people either become apathetic to you or build them so quickly that you just cannot sustain them. And they're doing a lot more of the former than the latter, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Javon Evans is a great example of this. He has an opportunity to do some amazing things in the next couple of months. I hope they take advantage, and I hope they don't turn him into a Carmelo Hayes if and when he gets called up, because Melo is only now starting to see some sort of momentum with The Miz, but it's taken a hell of a long time to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but feel like they're almost like waiting to push Melo till bringing Trick up, which seems weird. Obafemi did just lose, which, I mean, to all indication, you have to feel like that means he's coming up pretty soon, right? Like that, right? I mean, I think that's someone you could slide in the vision right there and, you know, take a War Game spot, actually.
Yeah, and again, those call-ups are they will come when they come, but they're certainly not as obvious these days as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where they play out. But for now, we got through Raw. We did it. My God. Let's once again, let's talk about Hard Games and Cats, because everyone loves that over on Steam. Curiosity. Check it out. Tell them about it, Pooh, one more time.
Check it out. I've been making this game part-time in my spare time for the last 2 years. It's about to come out next week, October 8th. We've got incredible voice actors, including Adam Cole, AEW's Adam Cole, former TNT champion, former NXT champion, my good friend. He did voice acting for me. He's got a lot of really good lines in there. They're really funny. And not only that, he meows like a cat in the game. We actually have all of our voice actors both meow as if they're cats, real person meows, and do English voice lines. So make sure you check that out. It is definitely interesting.
Does he say meow baby?
You think I'm going to have this man come in, exploit his name, and not have him drop one of those? Does he say boom at some point? Does he meow a boom? Maybe. Okay. Yes. We definitely break the fourth wall a few times, so you'll enjoy it.
And you said DGR's in the game?
DGR Dave is in the game. Lobos Jr.'s in the game. Bloody Faster's in the game. Little Aggie, Small Ant. Me, I do a voice in the game. X-Water, Bloody Faster. My gosh, we have so many failboats in the game. We have so many different streamers that either lent their voice. We have Patty playing a God Cat. If you guys know twitch.tv/Patty, his voice is incredible. You'll really, really enjoy it. It's a really good game. Also, if you love climbing games or don't love climbing games, you'll like this one because we give you an opportunity to go back to where you fell. Because cats have 9 lives, of course.
That's true. So go check it out. Go pre-order it on Steam. Put it on your wish list. Get it. Pooh, thank you. This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun. I had a really good time doing this. SRS should take more vacations.
I agree. He hit me up out of the blue. He's like, hey, you want to do the Raw Post show with Pooh? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. This would be a lot of fun. Especially because, you know what? I didn't say this before, but now I'm going to say it. God, I love Mario games.
I appreciate that. I love Mario games.
I love it. It's you and like 2 other streamers that I'm watching them. I'm lurking, but I'm there. I'm in on it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. No, and thanks to everyone out there who was watching tonight. You know, thank you for letting me into y'all's world. I know I'm kind of an outsider, so I always appreciate it.
You're always welcome back. Yeah. Folks, leave a thumbs up on the video on your way out. Subscribe to Fightful Select. We'll be back tomorrow night, as we are every night here. New content dropping every day. Fightful Select, new content every day. Fightful Overbooked. Go check out In the Weeds. Go check out all the shows and all the stuff we got going on there. It's free. Get up on it. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one.